All right. One, two, three, and go. Making a video. So, not live streaming, which is new for me, but making a video about what I'm up to, showing you what's going on. First thing I did is I 3D print a bunch of different styles of crosses. And I've got some more that are a bit larger 3D printing. Of course, complaint this freaking I mean, I like the resin because everything comes out so crisp and sharp. I hate it because it's just brittle. But you can see here I took a World War I German helmet and come on. Anyway, put it on the side of one cross. I've put some different designs on some of the crosses. Um, So some areas I will just cluster a bunch of crosses together, and that will count as cover, difficult terrain, whatever for the game. The two games I've been most like obsessed with lately, and still working on, in case some of you are wondering. One is Trench Crusade, a completely, in a lot of ways, possibly I don't know, maybe blasphemous skirmish game. Um, but the thing that attracts me to it is one, I'm playing the good guys. And so that makes up for it. You know what I mean? Like, I know that, what's his name? He did a game where, like, everyone was playing, like, demons battling it out in hell and shit. And I was like, yeah, not really interested in that because I don't want to play a game where I am kind of forced to be a demon. So, Trench Crusade, while you can, if you wish, be the bad guys, really, you probably might want to be the good guys. And before you wonder, well, if everybody's playing the good guys, then how can you even play the game? Well, a lot of the good guys don't get along. Like New Antioch and the Trench Pilgrims, not best friends, not best friends at all. Because New Antioch, of course, is all about order and everybody is doing their job and military ranks, etc. And Trench Pilgrims are more like, St. Michael told us we need to go to this battlefield and kill as many heretics and demons and whatever as possible. So that does cause a little bit of friction. Also, if you're like New Antioch and you encounter the forces of the Sultanate out in the trenches, chances are you'll be like, okay, whatever, we're allies fighting against hell, and you'll ignore them or let them do their thing, right? Whereas a lot of trench pilgrims are going to be like, oh, heretics, and they're going to kill them or try to, because in the eyes of a lot of the trench pilgrims, especially the ones from the Slavic nations, like the followers of Saint Olga and stuff like that, there's no differentiation between one heretic and another. So, because, they consider Muslims to be, Christ denying heretics, the Muslims are not getting any favors off of them. You know what I mean? And of course, uh, the spirit is you know returned in kind. It's not like the Muslim forces are all like, oh, we love Christians now, blah blah blah. No, they still kidnap people to make their Janissaries and stuff like that. One of their main artillery units is a brazen golden bull. So, it's so wild seeing so many other YouTube creators being so like, oh, my favorite are the Sultanate, and it's like, you might as well just pick hell, in my opinion. But okay, whatever. Now, one thing we all have to remember here is this is a game, so don't get too freaking, tweaked out about it. But, at the same time, I'm playing the good guys because that's just the guy I am. So there you go. Now, my favorite thing about Trench Crusade is got to be this. You can just make whatever you want. And I love that. I mean, even though I've got a 3D printer and I can, print up whatever I want, right? Like my brother was talking about maybe wanting to play some Heretics. And I found this old World War I think that's a dismounted German cavalryman. And I just put a, Heretic head on it. Let's see if that'll focus in. Usually it focuses in. There we go. We had it. And I'll put some arms on it. Whether it's a Mauser, a Mosin, a infield, whatever it's going to be, that's what I'll do. And he will be then ready to, stand against the forces of New Antioch and whatever, I do have the 3D print of a lot of the Heretic stuff. So, like the weird little fetus monster and the different kinds of submachine guns and rifles and knives with weird jaggedy edges and whatever. So I can do him up. I can do him up pretty well. As a matter of fact, this guy started out as a World War I Russian soldier. Russian, where's he Russian to, right? And I've primered him to get him ready for painting. But you can see how he's got like the demonic sword. He's got a revolver. He's got like the weird fetus, on his hip, which is, I guess, a good luck. And he's got Mosin Nagant strapped across his back, along with a couple of stick grenades from the World War I German set. So there's, multiple sets here. There's Russian from War Games Atlantic. There's 3D printed parts. There's a couple of parts from the German kit. And I'm probably thinking, though I'll talk to Hungar about it. Looks like Hungar's here. Hungar?
I've been here for a few minutes.
Well, I don't care. We're not live or anything, so we're just talking about the hobbies. I was thinking, and maybe this is the 40K in me, that it might be kind of cool to paint the Heretic soldiers up red.
Yeah.
Because of the Blood Pact?
Yeah, well, there's so many things that you could do with the Heretics if you wanted to go 40K style.
Well, I mean, and that's the thing. I have the 40K cultists obviously already. So I could just do weapon swaps on them.
Yeah.
Get rid of their las rifles and give them some, Mosins or Mausers or whatever, and call it a day, and they would fit right in. I'd have to carve off all the 8-pointed stars and put, other symbology on. But since these Heretics are kind of being made for you, since you mentioned you might want to play Heretics, what color would you like? I mean, I know what I'm thinking, but it doesn't matter what I'm thinking because the army's not for me.
But since it is your army and I'm just using it, paint it up.
Well, no, it'll be your army. I'll just hold on to it because there won't be anybody up there for you to play with. So,
Paint it up as red.
all right. And they can say they're devoted to whichever demon lord is in charge of wrath and rage and whatever.
I think that's pretty much all of them.
Yeah, well, no, there's one that's like their specific dig, you know? Kind of like there's one that's all about, pleasure and drugs and stuff like that. And then of course you've got the one that's pretty much in charge of spreading diseases and stuff all around and you know, a lot of them are mentioned in the Lesser Key of Solomon and the Goetica.
Yeah.
So, which is kind of weird since, like AD&D, you're actually talking about actual named demons.
Yeah.
Like I didn't print any of them out because I don't know. I think I got afraid. But there's an actual like thing you can print out, and it's like, how my trench pilgrims all have the crosses on their shoulders.
Yeah.
This is like that, but it's an actual icon, but with Pazuzu in it. And maybe it's from being a little kid and watching The Exorcist.
Yeah.
But as soon as I saw that, I was like, I don't know if I want that on my table in the house.
Yeah, I'm not down with printing out and displaying demonic embolisms.
Right. It's like, paint, putting like skulls and, make them look demonic. Yeah, that's fine. But
You can make those and you can say, yeah, these guys are just Noto Germans if you put skulls and stuff on them.
well, I'm using Russian bodies
Exactly.
because there's the trench crusades are everywhere.
So,
And
but
in my mind canon, my trench pilgrim leader is leading a force to try to retake Constantinople.
well, of course.
And of course, any of the troops in Constantinople fighting against Constantinople would probably mostly
Be heretics.
well, heretics, obviously, because it was conquered by some demon lord forces, but they would be using Russian equipment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's just right across the Black Sea from Imperial Russia.
And easy to get.
Right. So, yeah, and easy to get. So you're going to have a bunch of guys with Mosin Nagants and tons of Russian type uniforms and stuff and other stuff. I mean, that's a good thing about this game. If there's, like I keep saying, the main selling point to me is the fact that you can just mod up about anything. Like they have the images on their webpage so you can see what they've got. But then they're like, hey, if you want to do your own thing, though, do your own thing, There's no like, and the rules are downloadable for free. Now, the other game I'm obsessed with currently, I've just built a terrain piece for, and that is A Song of Ice and Fire. In order to do battles, there has to be, these things, whatever they are, pointy things, let's call them.
Spear.
And,
Palisades.
not palisades, but something like that. So here's one that's all painted up and ready for the battlefield. And then, they're on plasticard, just cut to be identical to the ones they should be. Now, I don't know what they're supposed to be, but and as I said earlier, I printed out like 100 crosses. This one's got a helmet hanging off of it.
Nice.
so that I can make like difficult terrain on the trench, because it'll just be a cluster of crosses, where people have died or been buried or whatever. And I think that's kind of cool, kind of dark, kind of gritty, kind of grimy. I've also been printing out these wooden pallets to make like trench floors.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, because each of these trench pieces is going to be an independent piece, but I'm going to have enough of these trench floors so that if you tuck this piece and say this piece, right? And you'd want to put them about 2 inches apart. So you would want, some of these duck boards or whatever in between.
Yeah.
So that your guys can run, because I mean, it's not bad enough that you're fighting demons, but I mean, do you really want to get trench foot too? I mean,
You really don't want to get trench foot.
right. I mean, that's just like, no.
It's like Lieutenant Dan said, change your socks.
Change your socks. The Mekong Delta eat the feet right off of you guy. And that's kind of where I was going with that. So I'm letting that heretic dry out while I decide whether I want to give him long-ranged weapons or assault weapons, or both. I mean, he can have a rifle and a pistol, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh, the heretic legions can start with submachine guns.
I know.
My army cannot start with submachine guns. So, like, I've got this guy who started out as the body of a Imperial Guardsman, and I gave him a German MG whatever World War I submachine gun. And I mean, sure, I should carve all the double-faced eagles off, not just because it's a 40K thing, but because in this setting it would be a Holy Roman Empire / Imperial Russian thing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, people seem to forget. He's also got a couple of stick grenades on the back of him, and I don't know if I want to put a fetus on him or not. I'm not sure what the fetuses are for. Like, are they just there as good luck charms? Because they're alive, and they got like upside down pentagrams on their foreheads. So it's like, not 100% sure what's going on with that.
Maybe they're like pets.
Maybe. I got a bunch of these, the British submachine gun from World War II.
Yeah.
Well, I got a bunch of those printed out for trench heretics. So I'll be able to equip some trench heretics with actual Sten guns, which I think is kind of badass, to give the guy a Sten gun. And of course, I've had these, man, for a while. I've got my sprues of Russians and Germans, World War I.
Of course.
But I'm going to actually, for the bulk of the heretic army, I was thinking about printing out Canadians. Mainly because Canadians are like the guys that invented so many war crimes. I felt like, these guys invented a lot of war crimes. Maybe I should use them, in that manner. Like, I'll tell you what, some of the just freaking heads in the World War I stuff are scary. Like the Russian gas mask heads, they're scary. They look like heretic heads. I don't know if you can see them right, but they're just absolutely
Yeah.
bald. It's like you see them there in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like a thing over their head with the thing hanging down. I mean, that in itself is very, very trench, Crusade heretic looking. It's like, screw it. I mean, who needs a helmet? This guy's just out here doing his own
Looking
thing.
all terrifying and shit.
Yeah, looking like, hold on a minute here, you know? Like, I'm not sure what you're up to, but I don't think I like it. And then, you can, I love the fact that the Warlord or the War Games Atlantic sprues for the Russians come with just Mosin Nagants, not attached to anything. They just, hey, here's a Mosin,
Yeah, have some Mosins.
And it's like, that is so cool because it means that, if I want to strap a Mosin on the back of someone, which I strapped the Mosin on the back of one of my trench pilgrims, you can just do it. You can just say, yeah, he's got a knife out and a club or a pistol or something.
He's going to have a rifle.
He's got a rifle too, or hopefully eventually one of these days he'll get one. But yeah. So this is just a really good kit. That's all I'm saying. The Russian kit. Now, what makes the German kit really good is it has like at the bottom of the kit. Let me see if I can find the German kit. The German kit has two things that makes it amazing compared to the Russian kit. One of them is it has every sprue has like freaking 7 shovels. Not just in the hand, getting ready to crack somebody in the head with, but also just in
Just
pieces
like
and
random
stuff.
shovels hanging out.
Yeah, just shovels that you can glue to somebody's belt, right? And every sprue comes with freaking 10 stick grenades, style granate, plus pistols and holsters and binoculars, around so you can just hang it over the neck and glue it down. So I mean, it just has a bunch of and a freaking Mauser just hanging out. So if you wanted to glue a Mauser on somebody's back, you could just do that. So just so many parts, basically, is what I'm saying. So many parts just waiting to be modded up for your trench crusade guys. Just, too many parts. Well, never
Never
too
too
many,
many
but
parts.
Right.
You got
So
options.
yeah, I mean, between these kits, I mean, if you have bits laying around from like your what's it 40K stuff, you're pretty much set. You know what I mean? Like if you've got some evil chaos looking shit, you can just make a Russian soldier and glue a bunch of chaos spikes on him or
And you're good to
something,
go.
or a German, and call it a day. And I also love the fact that none of the militaries really, except maybe New Antioch and the Sultanate, have any particular like you have to use this weapon. Like heretics use whatever, you know, they use the weapons they're given by the forces of hell, but they'll use whatever they pick up. And trench pilgrims will use whatever they can get their hands on.
Yeah.
And that makes them really cool. And then here in a little bit, I'm going to paint up some iron makers for my Song of Ice and Fire Army. Even though I have a complete 50-point army, I kind of wanted to, uh, since I had extra units, I was like, well, I might as well paint them up because you never know. I might want to switch out, one unit with another unit. You know how I am. I like to have
You like to
lots
have
of options
choices.
for army building, but I have a complete 50-point army. So,
I think
and the average army is 40 points. So 50 points is actually
skirmish
pretty
games
big.
are the way to go.
Well, the thing is, too, if you can get a friend to play this game with you or a multitude of friends to play this game with you, it's like Mordheim. Every time you complete a battle, you roll to see whether your guys live or die. You roll to see, how much money or glory or whatever you got. And then you can re-equip. Like there's certain weapons that can only be acquired with glory. So you can't start the game like a campaign game with these weapons. They have to be purchased with glory. But then there's, you can gain XP, you can upgrade units from one thing to another and upgrade their gear and all that kind of thing. Which is one of the things I think we both really loved about Frostgrave.
Yeah.
Because I remember when you were down here, we played the shit out of Frostgrave.
I want you to make me one particular guy for my Chaos army.
Oh, yeah?
A hillbilly in some overalls.
Well, I actually might have one of those.
As the leader.
A hillbilly in overalls as the leader. Yeah, he'll have to be carrying like a staff and have some evil shit on him because heretic units are led by heretic priests.
Well, yeah, I'm going to name him Ronnie.
That would make sense. Only certain people will get that, but the ones who will, they'll be like, yep, that makes sense. A bunch of freaking, like a whole army of just hillbilly Satanists,
Yeah.
It's just like, that's some like Texas Chainsaw Massacre shit right there, It's pretty scary. Get like an American unit and just tweak it out and make it all heretic. Which I was thinking if I ever made a new Antioch army, I would base it off of World War I Americans and just do the bare minimum so that it kind of would fit in with the new Antioch look.
Yeah.
But mostly because you know why? Because America, fuck yeah. That's why. And anybody that's like, America ain't even in the thing. Well, they would be in my game. And they would be doing all kinds of shit.
They'd be doing American shit.
Which is mostly somebody messed with our boats. So now we have to go over and commit war crimes because, right? We can't let the Canadians have all the fun.
Yep.
So this is what it's going to be. But if America even exists the way we think it does, since this is an alternate Earth.
It's our alternate Earth, though.
Yeah, that's the thing. They give out the lore, but that don't mean you have to abide by any of it. And the one creator said that they've made the lore so kind of ambiguous, specifically so
people can do what they want.
Yeah, like they mention stuff, but they give you no explanation as to what in the hell they're even talking about. You know what I mean? Like they mention Metacrists, which are apparently people, they are not Christ, but they're people who have been cloned from the blood of Christ, right? Um, and then that's all. That's all they say about them. That the church has managed to find out a way to get genetics from Jesus off of certain artifacts and clone Christ multiple times. But it's not the Messiah, but it's like the physical body of the Messiah, which they then use in certain rituals to create communicants and shit like that. Because if you take communion with the actual flesh and blood of Christ, it turns out that, it mutates you into a giant hulking monster, even though it's not actually the Christ.
That is messed up.
Yeah. It's pretty messed up. What's weird is the guy who writes the lore and does the art for this, on an interview, I was watching him on an interview, he has got like a crucifix hanging on the wall above his bed. Now, I don't know if he put that there for protection because he knows he's done some bad stuff in his life, or if he's a believer. Either way, if he's a believer, then that means this freaking crazy ass game was created by Christians.
Well, yeah.
Like the setting and everything. This is all created by Christian, which is like, damn. Okay. So that's how we're doing, huh? But so before I end this recording and get it uploaded, what do you want to say? I give you the floor. What do you want to talk?
Play some games, man. People need.
Yeah, I would love to play some games. Last night we didn't because my wife was really drunk and you were sick.
Well, I'm talking to everybody out there and YouTube land too.
I'll screw everybody out there in YouTube land. I'm talking to me versus you. What do you want to talk about? What's on your mind these days? What is of interest? How can I help you?
I just ate, and hopefully
it'll stay down.
I get to keep it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say a prayer. And anything else you want to say other than, you're not feeling good?
No.
Any questions?
No. Go up.
Don't want to ask about your character in Talaslanta?
I'll call you later and talk about that. Right now I need to
chill out. Well, okay, we'll do that.
I've been watching Berserk a lot.
Yeah, I don't want to talk to you about
it.
Griffin!
Rictus and Juno are two of my favorite characters on that show.
Juno?
Yeah. And Rictus.
Well, I mean, I can see the one, but which one was Juno? Was he the one that was secretly in love with Casca but never said so?
Yeah, because he was always helping out Guts.
Right. Until the end when he tried to save her, but
he died saving her.
Yeah, he died trying to save her. I'm not going to let you try to lure me into an argument about.
No, I'm not arguing. The only reason I always say Griffith is my favorite is just to get your go.
I know, and I just said I'm not going to let you lure me into.
Realistically, you'd have to be a sociopath if you were Team Griffith.
Yeah, I mean, the guy did everything wrong his whole life. And you know what else?
What's that?
He was gay.
I think they're all a little gay.
No. Guts isn't. Guts was all about that Casca booty.
Yeah.
But Griffith, man, if you're an old dude with some money and you can help hook him up with a little finances, he'll give it
Yeah,
up.
I'm
You know,
pretty sure like Guts has seen one up close once or twice.
I don't think so. Even though they kind of hint at it a little. Well, yeah, because they've bathed together, but that's a normal thing in Asian culture. But no, I don't think so. Because if they had, they would have showed it. You have to remember, until Casca, Guts was like super freaked out about being touched.
Yeah.
So if Griffith had tried to, manhandle him a little bit, that shit would have went bad quick. You know what I mean? Because Guts would have been like, no, we're not reliving that trauma. So you can get out of here,
Well, there is in that one episode when Guts starts working for Griffith in the Golden.
When he tells him he can have
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, my sword or my ass, whatever you want. I'm like, okay, Guts, that's a little.
Well, that was showing off how like
Devoted he was.
Arrogant, because he just thought, he was going to whip Griffith's ass, no problem. And also, maybe, I think Guts thought that Griffith was like batting for the other team the whole time anyway. You know what I'm saying? And like,
yeah, because that's one of the
Casca
first things
hoping,
Guts asked Griffith. Are you?
Yeah, Casca was hoping that he wasn't, but
Is like,
he was.
Guts was like, are you trying to like fuck me, dude?
Yeah, like I think Griffith would be like, it doesn't seem like he was actually interested really in sex at all.
Griffith did what he did and whatever he had to achieve his dream.
Right. And while a part of me is like, damn, you kind of almost got to admire such dedication.
That's why in the Golden Arc, before the eclipse, he doesn't seem all that bad. He just seems like a really dedicated dude. But once the eclipse happens, and
you see the real
then
Griffith.
you see the real Griffith.
And you realize that guy's an asshole. Like, he will surrender his entire everyone he knows just to, get power, It's like, it's kind of messed up, right?
Yeah.
But that's the guy that he is, So, yeah. This guy's pretty cool. I think you'll like him. He's got a British stem gun, a shovel kit, his bread bag, a couple of stick grenades, and a fetus strapped to him.
Yeah. Maybe the fetus is just like their lunchbox.
Or good luck charm.
And I'm going to eat this fetus later.
When they get hungry, they're just like, time to eat the fetus, I guess.
I was going to eat that mummy. He was teriyaki flavored.
Right. When Futurama, they're eating the mummies. That was funny. Fry accidentally drinks the Emperor. On the water planet.
Yeah. Fry left Mermaid because, well.
Yeah. He broke up with Amy too, though, which
was stupid.
It's like, what are you doing, Fry? She's an ultra rich hot Korean chick. It's like, come on, man. You know, he didn't want to be tied down. From what? You ain't doing shit. You know what I mean? It's like, where are you worried about being tied down from?
That Jergens lotion, I guess.
You got no life. You're just kind of hanging out with a robot. It's like, I don't think anybody, you know, is going to be too upset if you decide to, you know. I am supposedly going to be on with Shadow later.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't know when later. He didn't say, but I told him send me an invite. He said Monday. Today is Monday.
Yeah.
Right? So, you know.
I'm going to bounce off of here and I'm going to get some more rest.
Yes, since you don't really have anything you want to talk about, I think we'll end it here. So anyway, guys, that's what I've been working on is, let me show you this though. I need to do the base, paint the base up. But
nice.
Yeah, that's Aegon Greyjoy. They called him the vampire or the dampire. He was the one that would drown people and then bring them back. Yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool. So, you know, that's the metal version. If people out there are like, wait a minute, I have the Greyjoy thing and that don't look. Now that's the metal version from Dark Sword, who during my last order sent me a bunch of free stuff, including this honey badger with a two-handed sword. So if I ever play Pugmire, I guess I could say I want to play honey.
That's better.
But anyway, and the sticker I can put on my computer so people can see it and be like, man, they make really high-end miniatures. They're a little on the expensive side, but they're like display miniatures almost. You know what I mean?
So like
and
you're
they make them.
Like you're Sanguinius.
Right. Well, I would use Sanguinius if I ever played a game of
30K, yeah.
30K. Yeah, it'd be Sanguinius and a shit ton of assault marines coming to you. Coming to a city nearby. Sanguinius and a shit ton of assault marines.
Coming to a city on ball.
But these figures fit in, like the bases I put them on go onto the same bases and all. Like this is the metal Asha Greyjoy, and she's just so much more detailed than the plastic one. Not that the plastic one isn't amazing. It's good. It's really good. But I've got my Asha Greyjoy here that I'm working on, which is important because she actually leads one of the units of my army. So I need to get her ready to go. And I've got the alternate Victorian, which I've been working on him off and on. And I need to get him done because he's the actual commander of my army. So pretty important to get him done.
Yeah.
But
if you command your shit, you might want him finished.
Right. So I've been kind of splitting my time between Trench Crusade and getting all my Song of Ice and Fire guys done. At which point I'm probably going to, the Trench Crusade stuff will be done quick because I already painted up a test Pilgrim, and it was like super easy, barely an inconvenience. So the hardest thing I think I have to paint is all the penitent nuns, you know, because of all the blood and gore and splatter and the fact that some of them are basically naked.
Yeah.
Or stigmatic nuns is what they're called. But then after that,
stimulant numbs work too.
well, no, these are stigmatic. They have the wounds of Christ, so they're constantly bleeding from their hands, their feet, and their head, and their
You
side.
said stimulant at first. I was like, well, if they're out there running around naked, they would stimulate some shit.
But yeah, your death, because their special ability is the more damage you do to them, the more powerful they get. Because they actually are able to convert the wounds and the damage that was suffered by Christ into power.
That's
to allow them to, exterminate enemy forces. So yeah, they have this thing where in the game, if you hit somebody but you don't do enough damage to put them down or injure them out of the game, you cause blood counters. But stigmatic knights, during their turn, they can turn a blood counter into a bless counter, which they can then burn to get huge bonuses on like a melee or a ranged attack. So the more you hurt them and the more blood counters you put on them, the more bless counters they can get, and then the more bonuses they get when they come after your ass, you know? So it's like that. That's kind of their deal, It's like, okay, you want to do some stuff, fine, but these chicks actually get off on the pain, so, it do be like that sometimes.
It do be like that.
But anyway, I'm going to hang up and maybe finish my Victorian because even though I've got the other one painted, this is the metal one, which is more realistic to the book. Can I really call my army painted if the actual commander?
Not really.
Yeah. Even though, like I said, he's an alternate commander.
And I'd like to take a nap.
Well, hold on, man. Hold on. We're ending it. We were just finishing up. That's what I'm doing. And my brother is not doing a damn thing except humoring me.
Try to get over being sick.
However, when he visits next time, we'll play some games. Because by then I'll probably start working on the Starks. And well, it's up to you. After I'm completely done with the Greyjoys, do you think I should do Starks or should I do Lannisters?
I would pick Lannisters, but our Windrunner said that he would play the Starks. So if it was me, I would do the Starks just so you could play the game.
Plus, you would play Starks if it came down to it, right? All right. So Starks it is. They'll be easy. They're mostly just wearing armor and leather and weird hides. So
yep.
And I mean, like my Trench Crusade army's already done. I just need to slap some paint on them, and using the grimdark style that they recommend, it's not super difficult. You just throw a little rust on stuff. You make sure that like this guy right here, I haven't done his rifle yet, but check him out.
Nice.
There he is focused in.
I like that.
Yeah. It's just a guy wearing dirty clothes. Yeah. With some like holy icons and stuff and that weird fucking helmet. And then he's got Mosin Nagant in his hands. So it's like, is that Mosin? No, that's an infield. Regardless. And that's kind of the thing, That one, unlike most of them, actually has shoes. So most of my guys ain't got shoes. But anyway, so we'll end it. So say goodbye.
Hungar. Love you, brother.
That's not what I asked
Deuces,
you, sir.
everybody.
That's also not what I asked you,
Bye,
sir.
Hungar.
And from the DM James channel, yeah, that's what we're doing with Wargaming. We are doing a Song of Ice and Fire because that is replacing. You can take off if you want, bro. A Song of Ice and Fire is replacing Warhammer Fantasy for me. You know, mainly because I'm super pissed off that they didn't like do my Dark Elves, so they can kiss my Dark Elf loving ass. And two, Trench Crusade, because it looks like a cool little skirmish game. It's inspired me to want to create a couple of terrain pieces to play around. And, you know, I kind of dig the whole servants of hell and heaven duking it out. I mean, I'm not saying it's like the most awesome thing, but it is kind of a, you know, kind of a cool thing. While I understand certain people might find it a little bit heretical, um, I find it to be a reflection of our day-to-day life, except in this game, it's physical. You're, you know, physically sending troops out to deal with the forces of hell. And in real life, it's a spiritual battle that is going on nonstop all the time between, you know, Christians and the forces of hell. So, uh, you know, maybe, like I said, that's why I'm kind of, I guess, is the way I am about it, because I'm just like, there's nothing new under the sun, right? This game is no more blasphemous than real life is. And I'm not saying, you know, I'm perfect, because I'm not. I sin horribly. So, you know, it is what it is, you know. SOCKS. So anyway, peace and love. I'll check you guys out later. I may possibly probably be on a stream with Shadow and maybe Sun. Who knows? So if you're around and you think that would be something interesting to look at, by all means, check me out on that show. And I may do a live stream myself. It's Monday. I usually do a live stream on Monday, so I may do a live stream on Monday. But this video has went pretty long, and I was hoping Hungar would be more, you know, opinionated about things. But you know, he's sick. He ain't feeling good, so we'll end it and get it uploaded. Peace and love, guys. God bless, and you know, I'll see you in the next one.